just what are your plans for the off season and possibly playing or just doing individual workouts?
Yeah, I mean, probably take a little bit of a break here, just for maybe a week. I don't really want to lose a ton of the stuff I've worked on, and just trying to get my body back to full health. There's some USA basketball stuff I need to get ready for.
Did Caitlin Clark just accidentally confirm the departure of her closest and fiercest teammate? A cryptic message is rippling through the WNBA, and it seems to reveal the shocking truth. Sophie Cunningham's time with the Indiana Fever may be coming to an end. The bond between Clark and Cunningham became one of the biggest storylines of the season, captivating fans and dominating social media conversations. Cunningham wasn't just a teammate. She was Clark's on-court protector, her enforcer, and her confidant in the high-pressure world of professional basketball. So why would this dynamic partnership come to such a sudden and unexpected end? The confirmation of Sophie's potential exit didn't come from a leaked front office memo or an anonymous insider. Instead, the shocking evidence came straight from Sophie Cunningham herself, in her characteristically straightforward style. On her podcast, Show Me Something, she didn't hold back when discussing her future plans and career aspirations. She plainly stated that she's looking for a much bigger, multi-year contract from her next team, one that can finally give her financial stability and the chance to buy a house, a dream that has eluded many WNBA players despite their elite talent. Her choice of words was deliberate and impossible to ignore for anyone paying attention. Not this team. Not hopefully Indiana. But her next team. That phrasing revealed a player who's already mentally moved on, someone envisioning a future that doesn't include the Fever. When her co-host mentioned potential destinations like the New York Liberty, one of the league's premier franchises, Sophie's response was chilling for Fever fans, hoping she'd express some loyalty or desire to stay in Indiana. It could be anywhere. That single statement was a bombshell that sent shockwaves through the Fever fanbase. But the reality of Sophie's situation makes it even more explosive and far more complicated. Cunningham is now an unrestricted free agent, meaning she has the power to sign with any team that offers her the deal she wants, without Indiana holding any special rights to retain her. But there's a serious complication that both she and potential suitors have to consider. Her season was cut short by a devastating torn MCL, an injury that required surgery and months of intense rehabilitation. While she's been sharing positive updates about her recovery on social media, any team, including the Fever, will have to carefully weigh the risk of offering a massive, long-term deal to a player coming off such a severe injury, with an uncertain timeline for a full return to form. Their partnership was forged in the fire of a chaotic and brutal 2024 season, one that tested the Fever in ways no one anticipated. Indiana was rocked by injuries throughout the year, with both Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham missing significant time due to various ailments. The team's depth was constantly tested, and their playoff hopes hung in the balance for much of the season. Before she was sidelined by her knee injury, Cunningham had already cemented her role as the heart and soul of the team's defense and its emotional leader. She was the vocal presence in the locker room, the fierce competitor who never hesitated to get in an opponent's face to defend her superstar teammate from physical play that often crossed the line. Whether it was stepping in after a hard foul on Clark or setting the tone with her own defensive aggression, Cunningham brought something intangible but invaluable. Her absence was a massive blow to team chemistry and performance, proof of just how important her presence was, far beyond what the stat sheet could ever show. And as their on-court chemistry grew throughout the season, so did the noise and the speculation surrounding it. Their friendship became a constant topic of discussion among fans, with many analyzing their every interaction on social media, their body language during games, and their public comments about each other. The attention grew so intense, and at times inappropriate, that it even drew remarks from controversial sports analyst Skip Bayless, who shockingly accused Cunningham of using her friendship with Clark to boost her own popularity and social media following. A claim that many found both baseless and deeply offensive. This outside pressure, including invasive speculation about the nature of their friendship, added yet another layer of complexity to an already high-stakes partnership. Both players had to navigate not only the usual challenges of professional basketball, but also an unusual level of scrutiny that few teammate relationships have ever faced. The constant attention may have been flattering at times, but it also created an environment where every gesture was overanalyzed and every social media post dissected for hidden meaning. Now, the Indiana Fever's front office faces a monumental decision that could shape the franchise for years to come. The organization is laser-focused on one overarching goal: building a championship dynasty around Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston, two generational talents who embody the future of the franchise. Every roster spot and every dollar of salary cap space will be evaluated with that vision in mind. And the question they must answer is as cold and calculated as it gets, one that strips away emotion and sentimentality. Do they invest a massive long-term contract in a beloved fan favorite who's recovering from a major injury and will be 29 years old next season? Or do they let her walk and use that money to pursue other free agents who might be younger, safer bets, or better fits for their long-term vision? The financial realities of the WNBA make this decision even more difficult. Unlike the NBA, where teams can exceed the salary cap to retain their own players through various exceptions, the WNBA's hard cap creates a zero-sum situation, where signing one player to a major deal means less money available for everyone else. The Fever must also consider their other free agents and the need to build a complete roster around their stars, not just surround them with expensive complementary pieces. This brings us back to Caitlin Clark and the emotional goodbye that seems inevitable. While there hasn't been a public Instagram post or a tearful tweet just yet, those who followed Clark's career know how she handles these moments of transition. We saw her send a heartfelt farewell to her former teammate Temi Fagbenell when she left the team, expressing gratitude for their time together and wishing her well in her next chapter. Clark is someone who deeply values relationships and isn't afraid to show vulnerability when teammates move on. The confirmation isn't in a message that's been sent, but in the one that's inevitably coming if and when Cunningham signs elsewhere. With Sophie making her intentions clear through her podcast comments and the Fever facing a tough business decision with no easy answers, a goodbye message feels like a matter of when, not if. When it comes, it will likely be emotional, heartfelt, and will confirm what many already suspect, that this partnership, as meaningful as it was, has run its course. Beyond the personal emotions, this entire situation raises deeper questions about team-building philosophy in the modern WNBA, where heart, loyalty, and chemistry often collide with the hard business of salary caps, contracts, and championship ambitions. How much value should teams truly place on intangibles like leadership, toughness, and team chemistry versus pure athletic production and statistical contribution? Cunningham brings qualities that don't always appear in the box score, but that teammates and coaches consistently praise. She's a culture setter, someone who establishes the standard for effort, accountability, and competitive fire. The Fever must also consider the message that letting Cunningham walk would send to the rest of the roster and to future free agents. Would it signal a cold, business-first approach that prioritizes winning above all else? Or would it suggest a lack of loyalty that might make other players think twice before committing to Indiana long-term? These are the types of questions that keep general managers up at night. There's also the competitive landscape to factor in. Several teams around the league would love to add a player with Cunningham's mentality and edge, especially contenders looking for that final piece to push them over the top. The Liberty, Aces, Sun, and other playoff-caliber teams could all make strong pitches centered on immediate championship contention, something the rebuilding Fever simply can't match right now. At this stage of her career, and with her recovery timeline still uncertain, Sophie might decide she wants to maximize her chances of winning a title rather than remain part of a long-term project. And of course, the torn MCL looms as a massive wild card in all of this. MCL injuries vary greatly in severity and recovery trajectory. While some players return to full form relatively quickly, others deal with lingering issues, from limited lateral movement to reduced explosiveness and lingering doubts about the strength of the repaired knee. For a player like Cunningham, whose game is built on defensive intensity, physicality, and the ability to guard multiple positions, any loss of lateral quickness could be career-defining. Teams interested in signing her will undoubtedly require extensive medical evaluations and will structure contracts with built-in protections. We could see deals that include team options, performance incentives, or injury clauses designed to limit financial risk. That reality might also influence Sophie's thinking. She may be more inclined to accept a slightly smaller offer from a team willing to guarantee more years, providing long-term security in case her knee doesn't respond as hoped. The Fever's medical staff and training facilities are top-notch, and Cunningham's familiarity with them could give Indianapolis an edge in negotiations. She knows the doctors, understands the rehabilitation protocols, and has strong relationships with the training staff. That level of comfort and continuity of care might be worth something, even if it doesn't outweigh other factors. The reaction from Fever fans has been predictably intense and divided. Social media has erupted with passionate debates about what the team should do. One camp argues that loyalty matters, that Cunningham has earned a significant contract through her contributions and unwavering support of Clark during a difficult rookie transition. They highlight the intangibles she brings and warn that letting her go could damage team culture and potentially upset Clark herself. The opposing view is more analytical. These fans argue that sentiment can't dictate roster construction at the professional level. They point to Cunningham's age, injury history, and the statistical reality that she's a valuable role player, but not a star. It will be mourned by fans in a way that most basketball-driven roster moves never are. So, is this the end of one of the WNBA's most compelling duos? The facts are becoming increasingly clear. Sophie Cunningham has all but announced her departure through her candid podcast comments. Her contract is up, and the Indiana Fever now face a franchise-altering decision that will reveal their true priorities and philosophy. Is letting Caitlin Clark's biggest protector walk away a devastating mistake that will haunt the organization? Or is this the kind of ruthless, emotionally difficult move that's necessary to build a championship-caliber team capable of competing for titles over the next decade? What happens next won't just decide Sophie Cunningham's future. It will define the Indiana Fever for years to come. It will signal to the entire league what kind of organization they intend to be, how they balance loyalty with pragmatism, and whether they have the vision and discipline to fully maximize the potential of their franchise cornerstones. For Cunningham, this is about securing her financial future and positioning herself for one final significant contract in her career. For Clark, it's about potentially losing her closest ally, while trusting that management is truly building something special. And for the fans, it's about whether the team they love makes the right choice at this pivotal moment. The coming weeks will provide answers. But one thing is certain. This story has captivated the WNBA community because it embodies the deeply human drama that exists beneath the business of professional sports. Relationships matter. Loyalty means something. But so do winning and making the tough, smart decisions that define greatness. How the Fever navigate this moment will be studied and debated for years to come, regardless of the outcome.